I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, I'd like to welcome everyone to the first meeting of the 2024 year. And I'd like to remind everybody to just one at a time speak because of the Zoom call, and just to let me know if you want to speak. So we'll start with added agenda. Denny.
I'd like to get a jail update from Jason.
Amy.
An update on the interview we did for the extension. For the extension office interview,
Christy.
I would like to discuss check runs between commissioner meetings.
Check runs?
Yep, check runs. Yep.
Okay, Ernie.
Nope, don't have anything.
Christy.
Specials on the tax statements.
Okay, then everyone should have gotten the December 19th regular meeting minutes and the monthly bills. Do I have a motion and a second?
second.
Any more discussion on any of that? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next employee time. I don't know that we have anybody here. I don't want to start the meeting for the abatements till 9:10 in case somebody else is coming. Amy, do you want to just give us an update then on the jail extension?
Yes,
Or
extension.
extension interview?
The specific for what am I trying to,
County agent.
the county agent that Katie's not performing, but we had one candidate that we interviewed, let's see, it was a Friday the 22nd, I believe. And we just chose to not offer the position, more so because of lack of experience, and very interested in the 4-H side, but we just didn't quite feel comfortable that it was gonna be a fit when it came to what we are really feeling like we need more on the weeds and crops and that side of it. So the hunt continues, and there is some hopeful with, even within the office, they have some ideas, between Sarah and Katie. And so we're just continuing on, and we'll keep working on the interviewing. So for now, it was the positive was Katie felt okay, that things are going okay. They're going well, and they feel very supported by all the outreach they're able to use. So I think the office is just fine for, the interim.
Okay.
Is Brad still helping her out?
Yeah, I mean, he still comes in and is very useful and beneficial, and I think Sarah is a sponge, and Katie says anything she asks her to do, she does be above and beyond, so I think they have an efficiently oiled machine where we're gonna kind of really wait for the ideal candidate, if you will, to fit those needs.
Okay, thank you. Christy, you want to talk about the check runs?
Yes, so I am looking for a motion. We will be holding our checks, paying bills till after the meetings are held. But there might be from time to time where a bill will have to get paid in between. So I'm asking for a motion to give me permission to do 2024 payments on demand. If obviously that would be at a rare situation that I would need it, but just in case I was presented a bill, so we don't get a late fee, I was wondering if I could approve it without you guys.
So moved. I'll second it.
Any more questions on checks between commission meetings?
You wanna put a limit or that or a limit on them or just open it?
No.
No, okay.
I mean, if you have to pay them, you have to pay
Yeah, I
them.
just, well, if you wanted to, you know,
Well,
that's fine with me. That's-
We were doing it before, we were paying them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
you know, this is kind of new where we're asking, you know,
hold on, yeah, exactly, and, I had asked Jessica from Stutzman County how they handle it. And that's what she said at the beginning of the first meeting of January, she makes sure that she gets it in the minutes that there are times that she can pay in between. We will obviously try not to, and I will let you guys know, in your packets, the ones that have been already paid, and then the ones that aren't, so. I'm hoping it won't happen often, but just in case, just it'll happen in the minutes, I think.
I have full trust in our auditor.
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks.
I don't think we want to limit, because the big ones are the one that's a penalty, be the most. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll take roll call vote. Christie?
yes.
Ernie?
Yes.
Danny?
Yes.
Amy? Yes. Myself, yes. Okay, I've got to back up a little bit because I didn't, I'd like to add portfolio, going over portfolios, an added agenda also. Forgot to ask myself. So,
Do you want me to discuss?
yeah, you can, yeah, if you think you have, even if we're over a little bit.
It won't take long.
Okay,
So I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware, it came to my attention that on the tax statements, the specials were all lumped together. So it doesn't say like drain 87 and the amount of special taxes you pay for drain 87, now it's all lumped as one. So if you pay specials on more than one item, you're gonna have a lump sum figure on the tax statement. Now, we had asked our new software company, Tyler, if they could separate them, and we were told that they couldn't at that time. I think there's, as you're here, and you've probably been involved with this, I think there's been some further research with Tyler. They're seeing what we can do in the future, if we can get the specials listed separately on the tax statements. I think it mainly
Yeah.
affects like our drains in the county,
Boards.
you know, the water board.
it's nice to know.
Yeah, yeah, but for this year, it was all lumped together. I don't know if there's hope for next year, if it can be separated, or if you've heard anything of.
I believe they have what's called an enhancement request in to Tyler for tax wise. When you want something new developed, you put an enhancement request in. They've got that in their system, whether it's gonna mount anything, I don't know.
Cost wise you're referring to?
What's that?
Mount anything cost wise?
Well, if it's special to our county, yes, but if it's something all the counties can utilize, I don't think so. You know, other counties have been using these tax statements for, I don't know how long, and apparently they either have never been requested to do this, or they didn't get anywhere with it, I don't know, but I know there was an email last week about one county, there was something on the back of their statements with more detail, which is a cost to that county. We've already got a back page full of information that we include, so I don't know how we would do that. But it is an option as well too, that Sherry, Sherry forwarded that email I think to us.
So we're looking at trying to rectify it for next year.
Sure.
We may be able to, we may not. I think it resulted in some phone calls to the water board, first to the treasurer's office and then to the water board, but I don't think they've been overrunning phone calls, so. Just wanted to mention that.
I did get one question about that same thing.
Did you? Okay, yeah, so the answer is it's basically our new software and we didn't have the capability to do it yet, but maybe next year we will.
Daryl called me from the water board when we first caught it. They already had some calls, so that's when I got a hold of them. Yeah, it's different, you know, 90% of the people don't care if it's lumped. There's that 10% that want itemized. And that's what's causing it.
And the water board had asked that we send out a separate mailing to everyone to list the specials separately. That's not cost effective, no county, we can't be doing it, so.
Right.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Christie. Okay, we'll go ahead and call Ed Sivany next.
Good morning. We've got the two abatement applications today from, Unity Medical Center. I'm gonna go through them one at a time, so we get separate motions. The first one that I would like to go through is for their property at 147 West 13th Street. Plate number or parcel number is 37 and then 10483. They're applying for the abatement for the 2021 through 2023 tax years. It was originally valued at 158,600 in 21, 174,122, and 190,000 in 2023. It is a residential home in the city of Grafton that Unity Medical Center purchased in 2021 to use as a home for their foundation office space and to house traveling staff. Unity Medical Center has been applying for a property tax exemption for all 3 tax years under North Dakota Century Code 5702-088, and the applications were denied each year. To qualify for this exemption under that century code, the property must be owned by an institution of public charity, and it also must be used in wholly or in part for public charity. A property is not exempt simply because it is owned by a nonprofit institution. It is my opinion as the tax director and also the state's attorney's opinion that providing office space for the Unity Hospital Foundation, a completely separate entity, and to house traveling staff does not constitute a public charity, and therefore the owner does not meet the requirements for this exemption. The city of Grafton denied the abatement applications for this property. Assistant City Attorney Rob Fleming gave his opinion, which I included in the packet today, that he agrees that the property does not qualify for a property tax exemption. He did reference a North Dakota Supreme Court case, I believe from 1959, which stated that housing traveling staff is not part of their charitable purpose. And he also feels that the Unity Foundation is not part of their charitable purpose as well. So I would recommend that the Walsh County Commission approve a motion to deny the abatement application for this parcel for all 3 years.
As recommended by our tax director, do I have a motion and a second?
I'll make a motion to deny.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll take the roll call. Danny?
Yes.
Amy, yes. Christie?
Yes.
Ernie?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion carried.
Right, the second parcel is for their property at 49 West 14th Street. Same details for the most part. They're applying for the abatement for the 2021 through 2023 tax years. This is also a residential home in the city of Grafton that Unity Medical Center purchased in 2020 to house traveling staff. They applied for the exemption all 3 years and were denied. I won't bore you with the details other than their 2021 application did mention that they used the garage on this property to store hospital lawn care and snow equipment. All the parties involved agree that that would be considered part of their operational use for the hospital itself. So the portion of the parcel's value for the garage for the 2021 tax year should be granted the exemption. The city of Grafton denied the abatement applications in whole for the 2022 and 2023 tax years. For the 2021 tax year, the city of Grafton did approve a partial exemption for the garage located on this parcel for the same reasons as I mentioned with the other ones. So I would recommend that the Walsh County Commission approve a motion to deny the abatement applications for 2022 and 2023 and approve a partial exemption for the 2021 tax year, reducing its value from originally $229,000 down to a total true and full value of $208,900.
I will make a motion to deny the abatement with the exception of the garage.
Do I have a second?
Well, second.
Any discussion on this abatement?
And just to clarify, so the 21 was partially granted for the garage, but then that is only for that year. I mean, it doesn't carry into 22 and 23.
Yes, so if you look close at their yearly exemption applications that they submit, The only year they mentioned on their application that they used the garage for lawn care and snow removal was 2021.
Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Christie?
Yes.
Ernie? Yes. Dan? Amy? Yes. Myself, yes. Motion carried. Okay, anything else?
That's all I had for you today, unless you have something.
No? Mr. Hodak, do you have anything?
Well, thank you.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I got one. Did you get any feedback on the ag values? Anybody call or happy or bad, sad?
Nobody, haven't heard a word.
I just thought it, being we decided to stay to that 96, you might be getting a couple phone calls, but you didn't.
I have not yet.
That's good. Thanks, Ed.
Okay, next we'll move on to appoint JDA vacancies, and Stacy's here for that.
Morning, Stacy.
You should have received a letter in your packet with that I'm gonna go through with you about, what I'm here to talk about with the appointments. So as you know, the JDA contract with the Regional Council for Staff. And I am the director, serving as director, and Lori Easted is serving as the fiscal manager. And so since that contract was signed August, September-ish, we've been doing a lot of updating and transitioning literally and figuratively the financials and the project files to our office. And going through just kind of trying to figure out where we're at, which includes figuring out the board representation on the JDA board, who is representing what. So I wanted to come and update you because we do have some changes starting here for 24. Century Code requires that the county commission appoints the members to the JDA board. And in the middle of that letter there, it shows the required positions that the JDA has to have. The JDA can have no less than 10 and no more than 20 members. So there's 2 township officers, 2 county commissioners, a member among city government from each of the cities with a population greater than 500. So in Walsh County, that's Grafton, Park River, and Minto. That's 3 seats. And then a member of city government from the rest of the cities. So that's a total of 8 seats that the JDA is required to have. And then the rest of the seats, according to Century Code, can be made up amongst that list at the bottom of the page. So in doing this updating, we found that there was 1 seat vacant. There's 1 year remaining on that term for that position, representing the cities under 500. And there's another seat that's vacant as of now because one of the township officers stepped down after being on the JDA for 9 years. So, and then there's an additional 3 terms that expired at the end of 23. However, those members wanted to start another 3-year term. So, on the second page there shows, the 5 seats that we're seeking, approval to, for appointments starting in 24. That would be Julie Gamble and Terry Gorder, which are both, at-large positions. Kyle Harrison, he's representing the city of Park River. Those are all returning members. And then the 2 new members, are Evan Koenig. He's on city council in Lankin. He would be taking that 1 year that's left of that term for the under 500. And then Dennis Markinson would be taking that township officer position. And then I just included a chart there, the rest of the members of the JDA board for your information and what they're representing. So upon approval of these recommendations, there would be 12 voting and 1 non-voting member. And the reason why there's a non-voting member is because Julie Byron, although she wants to live in Walsh County, technically does not. And so through going through this process and updating the bylaws, we've determined she technically cannot vote. I consulted the state attorney's office about that. But she wants to be on the board and the board wants her on it. She's an excellent member to the lender. It's very helpful to have that expertise in the board. So, so that's what our recommendation from the JDA board is to you, for appointments for the coming year.
Okay, the recommendation from the JDA board and them looking for these positions. Do I have a motion to appoint Julie Gemmel, Terry Gorder, Kyle Halverson, Evan Koenig, and Dennis Markison?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? Stacy, I'd like to thank you for giving us an update on all of this and.
Yeah, I have several things in the next coming months. I'm going to be coming to give you updates on. There's a lot of things that are happening that you probably don't know about. And so we'd like to give an update. So you'll be seeing me more of me.
Great, great.
Okay, Karen, I just wanna say too, is that, just the transition, like I know it's been a change, but being on the board and watching every meeting I go to between Stacy and Lori and just how much the organization and just pulling everything together, it's, in my opinion, it's been a really smart move on the county's behalf, so.
Okay, well, I will take roll call now, and didn't take roll. Danny,
Yes.
Amy.
Yes.
Christie.
Yeah.
Ernie.
Yes.
Myself, motion carried. Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Susan.
Susan.
Thank you. It's my life, you know, forever.
Brent, we're ahead of schedule, but we can bring you on right now.
Morning.
Morning.
Couple items, so, a couple of weeks ago, the weed board met, and, Eugene Katina and Jim Tolleson are on the board. Their desire is not to be reappointed, their terms are up. And, so right now we have 5 areas. Area 1 has been open for a long time. We can't find anybody that wishes to take that position.
Is that like
That's-
Fairdale area?
Yeah, it's Fairdale, Adams, north of 17, and so the weed board recommended that you went, instead of having 5 areas, to go to 5 at-large members. You can also go to 3 members at large, or 3 members by areas, or you can leave it the way it is. Which then we need to advertise, so I guess I'm just looking for some thoughts on what you would like to do, or how you would like to proceed with.
Is that consistent with Century Code?
Yep, the Century Code. So the Board of County Weed shall appoint a county weed board consisting of 3, 5, or 7 members. Members shall serve for a term of 4 years or until their successor is appointed. Member of the weed board areas is provided for subsection, let's see. That's the end of it. County weed board shall remove a member, county board of commissioners shall establish weed board member areas as provided for in subsection 1. Any qualified elector can vote for those if the board of county commissioners has determined that county weed board members may be appointed at large as provided in subsection 1. So each board of county commissioners shall establish continuous county weed board member areas, determine that the county weed board members must be appointed at large. So you can either develop areas or you can appoint them at large. And it can be 3, 5, or 7 members.
Yes,
How many areas are there, Brent? Like you said, area 1 for like
So currently we have 5.
5 areas.
Yep, so they're basically the 4 corners of the county, and then the city of Grafton was its own area because at the time this was originally set up, the city had over 5,000 population, so they had to have a member represent the city, so that was one area. They no longer have that population, so they wouldn't be required to have a member specific to the city on the board.
And area 1's the only one that you're having a hard time filling?
Yeah, it's been open for some time. We've advertised several times. Board members, myself, have talked to several people in that area. And nobody has been willing to fill it.
That's been over 2 years already, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's been-
At least maybe 3.
Maybe 3 years it's been
Yeah.
open. It's been open a long time.
Longer than that.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's been a long time.
And you got on, yeah, it's been open for.
Yeah.
And it just haven't been, like I said, I know several of the board members who talked to people up there. I've talked to several people and.
So is your recommendation to go down to 3?
Well, I suggested 3 at one time. The board thought it should really stay at 5, but. I mean, it doesn't,
Madam Chair,
yes,
so right now we're running with 4 board members, is that correct?
correct.
Okay, so we've been running with 4. Danny, you've been on the weed board portfolio holder for several years. What are your thoughts on it?
I think we have to go at large with only 3.
I agree. I'm thinking 3 because it's so hard to get board
Hard.
members.
And it's not.
Why are we going to go at 5 if we can do it with 3?
We've been trying to fill 5 for
Right.
forever, so.
So, and I don't wanna degrade the meeting of the week, but it's not like the water board where they meet once a week and they're dealing with, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, it's. So it isn't, I mean, it isn't for anybody that comes on the weed board, it's not a moneymaker for that person. I mean, you're doing it to serve the
Right.
county and there has been. So my recommendation or my thoughts would be probably to go to 3 at large, but then try to. So right now, if, Jim and Eugene and go off, then, you have Lewis, Cadillac, which is kind of in that Peasic area, and Ed, City, which is here. So then, I mean, it's that large, but I would try to appoint somebody from, you know, west of Park River, ideally. And I mean, I think there are some interest in the Lincoln, Fordville, kind of in that area, where there's probably a few people that would be interested. But we just haven't, I mean, we haven't had an opening there, so they haven't.
Make a motion to allow Brent to go down to a 3-member board with appointed at large. All 3 positions appointed at large. So if we run into this,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion, since you're changing the board, you're gonna do you have to renominate the 2 that are on there now? Just asking, I don't know. Cause you're changing the construction of the board, maybe a guy should nominate them 2 back.
But it's 2, 1, right?
No, that's just.
Lewis and
It was
who's the other
4.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm just bringing it up, I don't know
Yeah.
if we're changing the board if we have to do that.
So,
Well, how about if we vote on this motion and then
Reappointed, fine.
vote to reappoint?
I have one other thing,
Yes.
is when the areas, would that then also be something, I mean, changing? Because obviously you have 5 areas.
but we wouldn't have any, this is not, they can be at large,
So they
so.
would,
Full comes
So, you know, so my only point would be that I would encourage you to try to
Yes.
keep them spread out over the county.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, but if you haven't get anybody to apply from out there and you have 3 from
yeah,
the east that wanna be on it, well, then you've gotta appoint who wants to participate, but
Yeah.
I would prioritize it to try to get them spread out throughout the county.
Any more discussion on this motion? To appoint or to go from a 5-member board in areas to a 3-member board at large. Okay, I'll take roll. Danny,
Yes.
Amy,
yes.
Christie,
Yeah.
Ernie,
Yes,
myself, yes, motion carried. Okay, so now, we should probably make a motion to, reappoint, since we're changing the structure of the board, to reappoint Ed Sivney and Lewis Cadillac.
So moved.
Second, you guys just jump in on second. I don't wanna have to call for a second every time, okay?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you.
So discussion,
Yes,
when we reappoint, will that change their terms then, I assume?
So, well, yeah, so we'll have to,
We're gonna have to check with them if they're willing to
Yeah, we're-
serve.
yeah, well,
Their
so,
term
so
now.
it,
Right.
I mean, you gotta have a second ahead of me here, because Ed's term was technically up too, so he needed to be reappointed anyway.
Oh, okay,
So, and I don't know if you can just let Lewis finish his term, so that we don't want all 3 of them to basically start this year.
Right.
You know, so we wanna get a stager in there, so I don't know
well, I don't know that we have to micromanage that. I think the board, you can
so, yeah,
manage
cause I
that.
gotta go look and see what, I don't know
Yeah.
if Lewis has 2 years left on his
Yep.
term or 1 year, so I would.
You guys.
Let's
hash
just
that out.
stagger that with
Yes.
Yeah,
To not have to.
figure a rotation.
yeah,
rotation, so that, I mean, 2 of them, I mean, can be on the same, I mean, that's, or get them so that we don't have everybody going off at one time.
it's just that typically, I would think it says when you're appointing, it's for a certain amount of years, doesn't it?
It's a 4-year term.
4-year
Yeah.
term. So I don't know how we can change that, but you can check it.
Well, you can, I mean, because when they went to all of this, I mean, they allowed you to, so that everybody isn't stacked
They did,
together,
okay.
so.
Okay,
I know Stacy, that was the same thing with JDA, you know, that's why she really looked into it.
Yep.
She's like, I need to see where people are going off.
Yeah, so, and like I said, I know Ed's terms ended, but I'm not sure if Lewis is 1 or 2 years left on his
Okay.
current term, so
Okay,
without looking again.
You can hash that out with them, you,
Okay.
the board, we don't decide on that, so we just appoint. More discussion?
I would just like to thank Gene and Jim for their
Yes,
service on the new work
yes.
for all these years.
Yes.
Jim has been chairman since I've been there.
He's been there for at least 12 years. He's been there for
Do you know how long they've been there?
15 years.
No,
I'd have to go back and look for sure and see what
That's
the,
one of the jobs they got, whether they wanted it or not.
Well, it's just people, let's step up and do the job.
Yes, exactly.
Those two are good examples of it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will take the roll call for appointing Ed and Louis. Christie?
Yes.
Ernie?
Yes.
Danny?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Myself, yes, motion carried. Okay,
and, so the next item on my list is just the county pickup. I guess I was just looking to have some general discussion on what you would like me to do or where we're going with pickup for myself as to, currently the one that I have is just, I mean, it's sitting in the parking lot and I try to use it when I need it, you know, I'm leaving after this meeting for a conference in Bismarck for the weed, you know, so I'll take it and go, but you know, it sat in here in November, I didn't use it very much, well, then the battery went dead on me, so when I came to get it, I had to jump start it, and the battery, one of the tires was low because it sat in the temperatures fluctuating in and down, so then I had to get an air tank and come and fill the tire, because it was
Miles on that too.
just over 150. So, but I don't know, I mean, I know we've budgeted and talked about buying a new pickup, but if the plan is just to leave it sit in the parking lot all the time, then I don't know that we should be buying a new pickup. I mean, either buy a used one that had a little less miles or buy this one, or, you know, or if I'm gonna, you know, cause I guess I don't utilize it as, you know, if I'm going to Devil's Lake sometimes for a meeting, I just take my own pickup and build the mileage back because it adds an hour to my day if I gotta come here and get the pickup and then bring the pickup back and it's not worth that hour to me, so.
So, Madam Chairman.
yes,
So basically, you've probably been using the county pickup for long distance trips, maybe?
Well, longer if I'm going to like Grand Forks
Right,
for a meeting or
and
something.
it's on your way.
It's on my way, I'm coming here, but I'm not, you know, I'm not, so, but then the other part is that I also wanna know what the board's expectation is for me to, I guess, for lack of a better word, to respond to certain emergencies. I mean, it's not a requirement of the emergency manager to be a responder, you know, but I've traditionally, as long as I've been here, there's a large house fire or a large grass fire, I usually drive out to it rather than just waiting for somebody to tell me what's going on, or if there's tornado watch, I usually go out sky spotting, but I'm not gonna do that in my personal pickup. I mean, I'm not gonna go storm spotting in my personal pickup, I'm not going to, you know, if it's, you know.
So you
depending on
can
what-
use the county pickup for that still?
What?
I mean, you can still use the county pickup for that, correct?
I could, but you know, most of the time the storms are starting out west out there someplace, so then I'm driving back, leaving my pickup outside here, which, and then taking
So
the
how long, how many miles is it again from you to come to Grafton?
10.
10 miles, so 10 minutes, yeah.
Well, it's 15, it takes me 15 minutes to get from my house to get to the office, I believe I've got it down to a science, I can, you know, depending on whether I hit 2 stoplights or 1, or, you know, but it's.
Yeah, yeah.
Or whether I cross at the wrong time when the train's sitting there, you know, but I mean, it's basically 15, that's why I said, every time I come here, it adds an hour, it's, you know, if I'm going west, so like if I'm going to meeting in Devil's Lake, it's 15 minutes into town. And then if it's January, it's 15 minutes to sit here and wait for the pickup to warm up before I even head back past my house and go to, and that's fine, I mean, I'm not arguing one way or the other, but I'm just, as I've looked a little bit more, it's like, well, if the policy is gonna be the way it is, then I don't know that you need to spend $50,000+ on a pickup to sit in the parking lot.
Right.
would it make more sense to take the pickup to your place and leave it there? Do you have your own? Just an idea, I don't know.
Well, but if I'm not driving it on a regular basis, then I have the same problem, and it, you know, if
And
I,
you're responsible for it sitting out there.
well, it's. But if I've driven my personal vehicle to
Yeah.
work and now I've got to respond to Minto for something, well, now I gotta drive back home to get the work pickup, I mean,
Right.
it doesn't, I mean, it just,
Yeah, I guess I
I think we're,
I mean,
I guess I think we're looking at two options personally.
and we don't have to decide today, I wanna get it out there to try to decide what you're. And if you decide to do a new pickup, I mean, I don't know what you, cause, so if you look at the ones that are on the procurement process, I mean, they're basically about $46,000 for. Right in that price range, depending on, I don't really understand sometimes the difference in, you know, if you pick it up and if you do a Fargo or you do a Grand Forks, they got different prices, but you're basically buying it out of the company in Minnesota.
Mhm.
So whereas, like if you went, like Hanson's, they've got an LT or an SLT, which are kind of the lower end models of theirs, you know, they're 56 to 58, but that's what they list on their website, you know, they would probably be another 5,000-6,000 less than that on a county bid.
Madam Chairman.
But you're still, overall, you're dealing with about 50,000, and like, I guess my thought has been lately is that if the objective is to leave it sit out here and then you probably won't get a $50,000 pickup sitting there.
Danny, did you want
Is there anybody ever watch these state bids, state vehicles that are coming up?
to?
Yeah, but most of them have tons of miles on
Yeah, I
them.
don't know, I was just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I guess I haven't looked at, you know, but I mean, the state bid is usually the DOT or Game and Fish or somebody who's getting rid of their pickups who've already put 100,000+ miles.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
Yeah. Well, 150,000 should be replaced one way or the other, or something on that, for an emergency vehicle. I mean, granted, those emergencies hopefully don't come up very often, but when they do, we need a reliable vehicle.
well, and I mean, I used it a lot during the flood, you know, and then I did take it home and then, 'cause I was,
Do you need a pickup?
well, then I go back to what is your expectations for me? I mean, I hold a whole pickup load full of sandbags to Minto,
Yeah, true enough.
you know, I mean, I'm also using it for weed control, so I'm driving through a pasture, you know, trying to get to where the flea beetles are, or checking a spot, or driving across somebody's ditch. I mean, so I really wouldn't wanna do it with
Christie,
I guess a couple questions. What did you use to put on the pickup for mileage every year approximately?
probably about 10 to 15,000, depending on the year.
Okay. So this year, total mileage, Brent has been providing me a mileage chart monthly just since we chose. That's kind of wanted to track what the difference would be. We were at about, last mileage report you gave to me, we were at about 7,200 miles total on the
And I
pickup.
think we're at 80, because I've been to Bismarck twice in December here. And
Right, and I
so it'd be
haven't
like
seen that
about
About
8,500
8,500.
between that's my personal and the work.
Right,
Pickup
that's
for-
when he's
for-
used the county
yeah.
pickup and his own personal.
So,
So just looking at from a taxpayer standpoint, I had just calculated at the 7,200 miles. I couldn't remember the exact mileage rate, it's around 60 cents a mile, right?
54.
64, okay. So we're spending, probably about $4,500. If we paid Brent mileage on every mile that he drove, it'd be about roughly $4,500 out of the county budget. You know, the pickups, a county pickup is pretty expensive. Now, this is helping us not having to purchase another pickup sooner. I guess would be my thought. I mean, that was costing the county a lot of money. Plus
So what-
gas,
What are you saying?
plus insurance.
Have him drive his pickup?
I guess I'm just wondering if that's a possibility. I mean, would we sell
yeah,
this?
well, I mean,
Or
I wish,
could
I wish, you know, that if I knew this would have happened, I would have probably bought a new pickup several years ago, because my personal pickup right now has a ton of miles on it too, and you know, I really don't wanna go out and buy one at 70,000 for myself. I mean, it's 60,000, whatever they, you know,
Mhm.
but, so,
Can anybody else in the county could use the pickup, right, if they needed, if they had to go to a meeting far away, or could we make this more of a vehicle to be used by any or all of the employees that wanted to? Or is that not even
well,
something
again,
employees?
it goes back to, what are your expectations for me? I mean, I can't tell you when the train's gonna derail, or the large fire is gonna break out, or you know, when the flood is gonna end. So if somebody else is using it and they've taken it to Bismarck for the week and all of a sudden you have a train derailment, then I have no vehicle because it's not here.
So you couldn't drive your personal
Well,
vehicle
well,
and charge the county mileage then?
I could, I don't know what the liability is for that, for if I'm liable for all the, if anything happens to my pickup. why am
I don't think we wanna go with you driving your personal, that liability, that.
Yeah, but when I polled other counties, there's many counties that do not provide a vehicle to the emergency manager, so.
And there are several, that don't, and the ones that don't, those people don't respond to anything. They go to the office,
Amy,
and they're not weed control officers, and they're not, I mean, I'm just trying to make sure that, I mean, you can't compare me as emergency manager to the Grand Forks emergency manager. I mean, she's got a pickup, it sits at the lot, but that's, you know, she doesn't respond out to anything, she doesn't do weed control, she doesn't go to the radio towers, she isn't responding to dispatch at 2, 3 in the morning.
Well, this is buying us a lifetime on this.
Yes, it has. I'm not arguing that fact, I'm just, and I don't know what the difference between, say, me and the highway department driving a vehicle back and forth.
Amy,
that was just, I guess my point is if we were to have it be a multi-use pickup and it was being used and there was a conflict, that then obviously the backfall then would be, we would pay mileage on your vehicle, so you would have it. I mean, you can't predict. I get that you can, but there are two options. I mean, we're saying that you're not gonna not get reimbursed for using and at least having a vehicle. But
Ernie,
Number one, I don't like the liability on his part, because it's gonna be his insurance, his liability and everything else. I don't think we wanna go there, because we had it once with our postal service board when we had to Minto and their drivers, and that's why they went to a van. That was years back. Number two, why do we need a new pickup? There's a lot of pickups 2 years out there that are 30,000, 25,000 miles that you can get for 30,000. I was thinking of trading mine, 2-year-old pickup, they're barely giving me 34, and I got all the bells and whistles and everything there is. So that's just my opinion. I think we have to have a pickup. I don't know how you do it at large, because the minute you do that, then Brent's gonna need it and it's gonna be in Bismarck. So, but I just don't like that liability putting on his own insurance on his vehicle.
And there are certain, well, excuse me, there are certain things that I keep in that pickup, you know, for, you know, I mean, like my radio's in there. I mean, the mobile radio, I got a set of turnout gear one time from the Grafton Fire Department, so I have boots and, you know, pants and stuff if I do go out to a large grass fire. I mean, they're all in a tote sitting in that pickup, but all, you know, so if I do go someplace, I have that stuff with me, but for some reason I would need it, but I'm not. But like I said, I'm not a responder. I mean, that is not necessarily part of my requirement. But as for as long as I've been here, that is just something, because it's just easier for me to go out to the scene and get information than it is to try to get a hold of the fire chief or somebody else on a radio and say, hey, what's going on? And do you need something? And it's just easier to be there.
but if you have that equipment in there, you still have to come to town then and get your pickup.
Yeah.
So,
If I would come to town, depending on what I'm, you know, like I said, for driving to Devil's Lake for a meeting, it's just easier for me to have you pay me mileage on my, you know, but yeah, if I was responding to a huge brass fire out there, then I would probably come and get the pickup before I go over to Adams or, you know, Lincoln for a large fire, because I want my radio with nothing else.
Christie, did you have something else? Well, I don't think we're gonna make a decision on this today. I think it's good discussion and, we can mull it over, think about it.
Yeah, that's
and-
fine, I just wanted to throw it out
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Just to get a couple prices on a used 2-year-old pickup and see what they are.
Alright, so.
You know, like I said, 150,000 and it's not getting reliable, but I don't have troubles spending money on a used pickup that we're gonna not put a lot of money on, so.
I would say though too, just because they're giving you that for your new one, that doesn't mean that they're not selling it. I mean, the used market
yeah.
has changed dramatically, so if there's not a real big difference, even $5,000, that
Oh,
would
yeah,
make a
no.
decision whether we go.
Yeah, regardless of what you buy used, unless the miles away, don't give no warranty or no anything, you know, so there's.
Mhm.
You buy a used one 50,000 and you're only putting 8 on in a year. 10 years is 80,000, now you're at 130, that's less than what you got now. So, yeah.
Okay, anything more? Oh, yes,
You ready to move on?
yes.
Okay, so the last item was the dispatch positions. I just want to let you know that in our last round of advertising here, we had 7 individuals that expressed interest. 2 of them never did turn in a application, so we have it down to 5. The 5, one didn't respond to a request for an interview. The other one declined an interview, so we interviewed 3, and of the 3, there was only 1 that we felt would potentially work, so we offered that position and she accepted, and that was Angie from the auditor's office. So we're still short 1 person, so we'll start re-advertising here, and so if anybody has any suggestions of additional areas, we can probably, I think we did Facebook and the tire and the papers and the Weekender, and I don't know, we can try that. I don't think we've advertised on the radio station yet. I don't know if what they get off of that.
Did you explore any more combining other counties?
I guess I haven't, Grand Forks wasn't interested in doing anything, and the 2 up here were only interested in maybe, we have been working a little bit with Pembina County to just kind of be more of a backup with each other, but we're still, until we get a little farther with this radio thing, we have some issues with how to actually dispatch, you know, depending on what, I mean, it's easy to answer a phone, and then if you can call down here, we can still do it, but if we can't, they have to actually dispatch, and for them to dispatch my responders or for me to dispatch theirs is a little more confusing. Answering the phone is the easy part.
That's that siren system?
Yeah,
Yeah.
until it gets, because then we'll have access to each other's frequencies, so it'll be easier, like we could actually talk to their responders over a channel, and they could talk to us, and
I thought that's what that was supposed to do.
that's what Siren will do, but we don't have, that's not up and running yet. We're still all working on our same old.
When do you
So,
expect it'll be up and running?
well, I'm hoping sometime in 24, but I haven't gotten,
It's been like 2 years already, hasn't it?
oh, we've been at this for like 5.
I was gonna say 4.
I'm
So,
scared of
yeah,
radios that they have purchased for. this
Yeah,
stuff
'cause I-
will be outdated by the time they
Yeah,
are.
well, I know like Ron and the sheriff department, I mean, they bought, right, I mean, and they've been using them, because they bought dual bands, so they have both VHF, and, you know, but by the time we go to UHF, they'll probably need new radios
Radios.
before we get, or not, to the 800 trunking system, so.
Yeah,
Another state mandate that's just, jeez.
costing us a lot of money that.
Very expensive, so.
Any more questions for dispatch? Okay,
Alright,
we'll take just a couple minute break.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have Dave Selesky and the Texas crossing at County Road 9. And I think everybody has gotten an email with some questions that he had.
Do I need to take this hot seat here?
Yes,
I do?
yep, and then,
I feel like my.
So the all pick you.
I know I'm the gift that keeps giving, but I'm just trying to figure out a solution here, so. So you got pictures of the crossing, and I know Ernie and Karen were part of this, 3 years ago? When they put that crossing in, thinking, and realistically, you guys, that crossing should have held up for 50 years if you look at the pictures. What happened is, you can see a beaver hut must have broke loose during that flood, when all that water came from the Park River and plugged that thing. And so that's what we got now. So I don't know what the solution is, you guys. I don't know who's Jason?
Jason, right back.
Oh, hi, Jason. So I don't know if it was submitted to FEMA. I don't know. I spoke to Gowans, and even Jared Gowan said, no, that shouldn't have happened, but that was the end of the conversation. And I agree. I mean, that was a very expensive crossing. But there's only 2 accesses into that land back there. And there's one from the south, which goes through Nick Osowski's field, and it's fine as a backup. And then there's that Texas crossing. So I don't know what to do. I get it, there's only 3 landowners back there. But, in my land is in WPA, WPA,
WRP.
WRP.
Wetland reserve.
Yeah. WRP, and I know, all the land is in that, but the piece next to me is 70 acres. And that land is in there for 30 years, which is 15 years is up. And, I don't know, Jason, did you speak to those guys at all? Have you spoken to anyone about that?
Nope.
Okay. So I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I guess I got a bill from Jason, and I don't know if that's common, that, that's that big thing there. I called and said, hey, I think it's the main tributary. I'm assuming you guys clean out beaver huts and stuff like that very often
No,
and don't bill the landowners, or is that common or normal, or?
We hardly ever remove any beaver dams.
So what would you do if the beaver dam was blocking a big culvert or a bridge? Would you fix it? Or, I remember I used to work for the county here, and we used to fix those all the time. We used to take those out.
We don't take those out, haven't taken them out for years. If there's a beaver issue, you have to the landowners have to get in touch with the Game and Fish and get their trappers or take care of their license and those. And then to remove the beaver, and then if they need help, we've gone in to help them with the removals at that point, but we don't, unless it's an active dam at a bridge, which is very, very seldom, but that's a problem. We don't touch the beaver dams anymore. We've been to this site twice this last year to clean out the beaver dams from it, the first time in September, the second time in October. To be out there to do it, and we haven't sent the bill for those things, but the bill that you received was for the bill from the text message I got from Karen saying that you paid for materials that we bought out there for it. So that's why you received that bill.
So the 607, and then that was billed, so I only owe for a third of that, is that correct?
No, that's all yours. Or unless you're separating with other people, but
Well, there's 3 landowners,
the
so.
text message I have
so-
says you to send the bill to you.
Okay,
So any other agreements from that point, I don't know anything, I'm just going off of what I got from my commissioner. That said, you go bill. If you miss it, I can.
well, so I'm not, and like I said, I just wanna resolve this. I don't want to get, I know there was rumor that I submitted a claim or a complaint to the water board. I have not spoke to anyone about this. But I want it resolved. I wanna know what my rights are, so.
So Madam Chairman?
Yes.
I just have a couple questions so
Okay,
that I
absolutely.
understand what we're talking about here. Number one, what was the bill for?
Well, it showed removing of a beaver dam, but
It's for gravel and the time that the guys were out there for the second trip, yes.
And-
And all you gravel for that trip.
And you were requested to go out there or did it on your own?
No, we were requested,
And you were requested by,
Karen Anderson on David's behalf.
okay, so I'm assuming David, you talked to Karen and asked her to get something done.
Yeah.
She talked to Jason.
Yeah.
And you're paying for the materials, or you were billed for the
Well,
materials.
The bill says remove beaver dam, and I said that there's 3 landowners, and yeah, we would pay for gravel. I'm not paying to remove a beaver dam, which should be normal county business. I mean, it just should be, if Andy Guzzo's bridge got dammed up by a beaver, I'm guessing you wouldn't bill him or Colette's.
Okay, so my second question, or back to my first question, so you are agreeing that you guys, the 3 of you, you feel would pay for the materials. Maybe the removal of beaver dam was the wrong way it was stated, but it is for the materials as you're stating, Jason, correct? Okay, so next question, is this not on the township road? This is the township road, is it not? Have
Yes.
you worked with the township?
Well,
Why are you coming to the
this is
county?
the
is what
problem,
I'm
is
wondering.
I can't get anywhere from anyone.
So why is it
So
the
I'm
county's
fighting this,
responsibility
because
if
the
it's on the
county
township
owns,
road?
the county owns that Texas crossing.
Do we?
When Dennis Markison removed that Texas crossing, it was a dirt top. I talked to Dennis about it. And at that point in time, when underneath Dennis, it was determined that Davis County would always maintain that when the bridge was taken care of, when it was a dirt top. And since then, when Sharon was here, they went to a concrete. From my understanding, when that project was put in for Gowan, it was the commissioners that had decided that would be the last time the county puts money to that project. Now, yes, it did wash out this year, but that was during the rain event from St. Thomas. There was no flood, no FEMA declarations for that to repair those. So there was no FEMA application put for it. We did go back and repair this thing in the spring after the floods. We've done it for the last 2 years. I've been there from spring flooding. We've done lots of the repairs. But we haven't been there for this because we were told that there was a floods from the FEMA, from those things. There was not a big issue. This is a big issue. This isn't just a small quick fix. You're talking about a lot of money to go and do this.
Did you, Jason, talk to Gowan's after this happened?
No,
Are we looking at 2 different sites here?
No, we're looking, the county owns, Dennis Markson, I talked to Dennis, and it is true that after they took those bridges out, they did it, I don't know how many they did in the county. They were told that from going forward, they will be maintaining these crossings. So that's what Dennis had told me. And like I said, why we didn't talk to Gowan's is, I mean, if this was my personal bridge, they would have been the first calling me after spending that kind of money. You know,
I do remember when you talk about Dennis and everything else, but the last time when we did fix it, I remember, I don't know if you were on the board here, Karen, and stuff, but we did say that was the last money we're sticking into it, because the county has a responsibility in the bridges, and once they go into, let's say culverts or whatever, Texas crossings, it's up to the townships. So now that's where this lies, but, you know, without FEMA and everything else, how do we maintain something? You guys mainly use it for hunting. The other 2 are back there with their programs, probably never drive there, so I imagine you might even have trouble getting 1/3 of that bill out of your other 2 partners there. So,
Well,
and there is, you just admitted, there's 2 accesses there, so as long as you got access, we really don't have to.
we didn't have 30. That's not fair, because the access we have, I have to go through someone else's plan. Yes, and when I'm dead and gone, I don't have to worry about that, okay? If you
But-
wanna keep that road, if you wanna put that road back the way it was, right through there and gravel it.
But that's a township, isn't it?
I don't know, Ernie, that's what I'm telling you, I can't get any help from anyone, and that's why I wanna resolve this without attorneys. I said, I will get an attorney, but I don't wanna do that, this is not that big, Jason, you think that's a big fix there,
Yes.
it's not. It's not a big fix,
it would
it's,
be a big fix, because you have to rip out all that concrete and that thing that's in there. It's not an easy.
no, you don't have to do that. All you need to do is go in there with trucks of broken concrete and then cover it up with
You
gravel.
can't just go and put broken concrete inside something like that without 404 permits and anything else. So you have to do a 404 permit for this repair. It isn't as simple as going and doing, it's not a simple fix. There's nothing simple about this fix.
I guess,
Going and dropping concrete in is not acceptable for a lot of things with the FEMA and the Corps of Engineers.
I guess I would have liked to have had, Gollins actually go look at it and say, boy, maybe we can just do this and repair it right away. And that beaver dam, am I correct? That beaver dam caused water to stay back, and then when it came rushing through, that's what did this?
A beaver hut block broke loose somewhere with all that rushing water and plugged the culverts. That's why this happened.
Because otherwise that water just goes over it, doesn't it?
You still went over the top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
why that was put there,
Yes.
that. what's
It would have
this called?
lasted for
It still went over the
50
top of this.
Yeah,
I have pictures of water going over the top.
yeah, I think we have some too, that the water's really close to it and seems like it's fine as long as it's,
Yeah,
not
what happened
this
was
big hole there.
Al was out there and it was hitting that dam and flying up the side of the ceiling here. So,
Yes,
Karen, who would pay for Gollins to go out there? Are you going
I
to
guess-
pay?
no,
Would you
I
pay?
This is-
I don't know, Christie.
Yeah, I just feel this is a township issue. I don't know why
Well, if you
it's
look,
a county issue.
It's a county issue because the crossing is owned by the county. It
my-
says right on the internet, it says owned by Waldo County, not for sale.
I guess I would have just liked Gollins to go look at it because they installed that mat.
Oh, they installed
Yes.
the original map. Okay,
Yes,
I didn't
that's-
realize. That was
Yes.
before my time, I
Yep,
guess.
But
I
it
that's
was
why-
only, that Bernie, what was it, 2 years ago? I mean, that thing just.
No, longer.
No.
I know you guys.
Not
you were in
2
years ago.
3,
It wasn't when I was here. So
I was gonna
Right,
say, it's more than 3, he was in here, and it's,
Absolutely not. No,
That's-
no.
Sharon was still here,
Sharon was
Dave, and he
here.
wasn't, so that's, he's gonna be almost 3.
Okay, so it was 2 years, 2 to 3 years, that's it.
yeah.
It's brand new.
It should have held. I guess that's why if having Gollins come in there and look at it and say, oh, well, this shouldn't have done this, we can repair this. I'm just saying that.
How long
I
did it-
would have liked Gollins too.
This
Jason?
is my fourth year.
So this is a section line.
On the board.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I see. Yeah, you were-
You can have
No,
access.
so and I've been here for over 2 years now.
Okay, Jason has the floor now, so.
So you just said that you have access from a section line from the south, and per state century code, they cannot deny access off of a section line. You cannot block it, you cannot do anything. They have problems with that, with arguments on the western part of the county right now that have been ongoing for years around Hahney. No, it's a section line, so they cannot deny you access if you drive across that road. So that's a township, the section line, that's not a county line, it's not a county road, it's not county anything, but for century code, you cannot be denied access off of a section line, period. So you have an alternative route to that, whether it's dirt or whatnot, we don't have any control over that, that's not ours. It's not, the road to get between there to the township road is not the county road. We don't maintain that. We only.
It actually is, Jason. It's a county road.
It is not a county road. The county road is county 9 and county 2. It stops at that corner. It does not go past it.
So who's the township then? I mean, who controls the township? They won't even talk to you. What good are they?
But we can't oversee them, if it's theirs and stuff.
Well, this, I can see, okay, I don't know what to do. Like I said, I have had it with this crossing because I'm thinking about the future. And I'm thinking about my kids, my grandkids, and everyone else going forward. And right now, we're driving through a guy's land, we're not even on the section line. Because the section line has been blocked by trees and everything else, no one takes care of it.
Well, if the township has to,
Back to township.
if the township has to give them access,
Well, you
do
have,
we, just a minute, do we have authority to,
We have no authority over the township.
no, I know where you're going.
we can't say,
No,
we can't say that we want them to provide access.
Why?
No.
We have no authority over over townships. We can't tell them how to do any kind. City's going for a drink of water.
Okay.
But we have no control over the townships. We
No.
can't tell them how to maintain their roads. We can't tell them how to.
So then he's not getting access to his place.
but he can't be denied either. I go back to the north of him and,
Billy,
yeah, exactly. he fought it and they went through somebody's private land and they had to offer, give him access to his property.
We just said-
How did he do it then?
They wanted to go in the court, but Billy got access and he still does. So you can't block it, and being there's one there already, it's a township issue, and he might have to go to the township and say, hey, if you don't let me, I'm gonna sue you, and you gotta give me access. That's what the way that one wound up at.
Okay,
And further, when we talked about this last time, there's a lot of people out there that called and were really pissed that we put money in there just for, and I'm not against you, Gabe.
No, I get it, Ernie.
We've known each other for years, why did you do that? And I said, well, FEMA paid for it, number one, and I said, at least it didn't cost the county a lot of money. And guess what? I said, we told you that time that it was gonna be the last time, because FEMA, because we knew every time it happens, it's expensive, and we thought we had a good fix. Well, this happened, so.
Well, it was a good fix, Ernie, and that's why I don't understand why we haven't contacted Gowans. I mean, I do not understand why Gowans are not involved in this.
Christie,
David, can you tell me the names of the township officers that you talked to?
I don't even know who they are anymore. Like I said, they're,
So you haven't talked to the township?
I've
officers,
talked
you've
to them, Pete
directly
Brown
the
used to
county?
be on that
Yeah.
township, and
is it,
I think-
is
I
it
think
an
you need to
active?
start with the township
No,
officers.
St. Andrew, isn't it?
St. Andrew.
yeah.
I just think you're kind of jumping, you need to talk to the township
But
officers
Chrissy,
about this. issue.
what would I say? You guys gotta fix the crossing?
They have to supply the access.
You need to fix the crossing or access.
I mean, I pay to freaking have the road fixed, for Christ's sakes. That's why I refuse to pay a bill, because I'm already paying to
I know,
take care of my road.
I'm not so sure they have to fix if he has other access, so I think we need to be careful what we're putting on the
Yeah, well,
township.
can you see that access, that from the south? I mean, that's going through,
This is that other,
the other access goes through Nick Osowski
Are you
field.
talking the dirt road? No,
No,
what are you talking?
it comes from the south and it goes to Nick Osowski's field. And I know Nick's dad is a bit about that, which I don't
Is
care.
there a picture on here of that?
No, I don't.
I think we got that from you, Jason. There was
No, I've never.
I thought that we got a picture of where that was, or maybe you
I
sent
sent it.
this.
No, I sent an overhead view to your.
That's what an overhead view
I
of
don't
the
know
email.
I don't know if it shows that section or not.
You know, cause that road is, what is that? Number 72nd Street Northeast. That's the road.
Yeah, it's from last Wednesday thing.
I mean, we have, Dave, we have roads in the township that have bridges. And they have to pick which bridge they're going to repair, because if they're within, is it a mile of each other? The township has to select, we're either going to keep this road open with this bridge or that one, because they can't afford to fix every
No, I
crossing,
get
every
that.
bridge. So, I mean, it's not just you, there's other townships that have roads that they've had to shut down because they can't afford to fix the bridge that goes over the road.
And I understand that. I just don't want ever that we don't have access to that land.
Madam Chairman, from listening to all of this, just on the outside and obviously not being here from the beginning of it, but, you know, from the perspective of what we can do. So like when we talk about Gowans, whose job is it to contact them? And if it's not the counties, maybe the townships, but is it something we can make sure that he has the updated township officers? And then from listening to Jason, when you read through that, like the requirement of access, and then that would give you something tangible you could present to the township officers, or at least objectively have something so that it could go forward. I mean, I don't know that it's gonna be the solution whose job to get Gowans out there? Can Dave call them and, you know?
They're not gonna go out there, Amy, if I call. They don't care. I mean, this is a Walsh County bridge culvert crossing that you guys spend a lot of money on. Any one of us in the real business world had spent that money, your first call that morning would have been to call them and say, what the hell happened? Go look at it. That has not been done.
I guess I would agree with the township side of it. I mean, whether they need to come in here or what.
Yes, Jason?
We have many spots, so we have a lot of money tied into crossings across rivers, across this county that we've walked away from in the last year. We've just closed bridges because there's, the money to do it and repair them isn't there. We don't have the funding to do it. It's not there. So on a priority list, then there's access from the south of any kind of access from the south on a section line that doesn't flood out as much and isn't over a river crossing, I am really not looking at putting that kind of money from the township into, or from the counties into that type of crossing. We walked away from the bridges that don't flood out because of the cost to repair them. We don't have the money to change to repair every river crossing in this county. There's 500 crossings over that. And we're walking away from them left and right, so we can. In the next few years, we have 3 bridges coming out, and won't be replaced, this flat out coming out. This probably should have been one of them.
So I get it that the dam caused, or the beaver dam caused most of the trouble, you think?
It caused all the problems.
How far away from the crossing is the beaver dam?
It was part right against it, Ernie. It was a hut, it wasn't even a dam, it was a hut that broke loose because of all the rushing water.
That's what it was. I guess my point is I've been on commission quite a while, and the only time I think I can remember that we as a county ever went and did beavers and we had them trapped, it was actually in the culvert. And that was over by Pizzico, and we had them, but when they're in per se the right of way or in the waterway. Now, I'm not gonna get the water board in trouble here, sometimes they'll do it if it's in their drains or anything else. I know there's a lot of guys that have, let's call them coolies, whatever you wanna call them. The farmer themselves will go buy their tannerite and go blast the dams themselves. So that maybe, and I don't know who owns the land there, but in the future, if you get this, maybe it's an obligation or somebody that blasts those dams all the time. Cause, you know, it gets touchy, whose is it, what is it? We got people calling that we should clean trees under the bridge or out in there. Well, no, that's your right of way, you clean the trees. So,
Well, this was just an incident, Ernie. This
Yeah, well,
was,
but-
I mean, this was, there's beaver dams and beaver huts all on there, and we continue to take those out whenever we can with tannerite.
Yeah.
We've even gone down that culvert and tried to chainsaw the little bits that they've moved in there. This was an incident that caused this thing to.
well, I'm not doubting that, yeah.
You know, so,
I guess
yeah. I
one of
mean,
the things I worry about this spot is, I mean, how do you block it off, and then this little trail here that won't last long, you know, then do you go block it off and say this road is closed, because people shouldn't be coming up to that then, and
Well, someone's gonna get hurt there, there's no doubt. If you drive down that road, it's a 15-foot drop into that thing.
So the township has not put up a road closed sign?
No one has.
So that's the township.
Like I said, but I don't know if it's county or township, whatever.
but is this
The
a
township.
township, because this is at the end of number 9?
Yeah.
Wouldn't we put that?
From what we understood, though, we placed that gravel, from what my guys said, it was passable at any point in time. Is it 100% safe? No.
Yeah, and you can see that it's passable right now.
Right,
I'm sure you guys drive on that right now.
absolutely.
I would never drive on that,
But-
because I have been out
But
there.
on it, there's no reason to close it. If it washed out again, 100% should have a road closed.
Yes.
Across.
Just making sure.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I mean,
I guess what we're gonna say, Dave, is I would advise you to contact the township officers and, you know, tell them you were here and see what you can do. Go through them. Like we said, it says they have to give you access there. I don't know who's on the township board.
well, and again, I've spoke, and they're not, you know, we can't even get them down there to do nothing. So, and they do own that little bit from that corner to the crossing you guys own. So you would think they'd take care of that. Like I said, it's just, Karen, I've said this before, I get no help. I'm fighting this battle on my, it's,
Well,
I'm in the end,
you know,
You might have to take the township to court. Sure, usually.
But
hold on.
first, talk to the
Yeah.
township
Yes, right.
officers. We haven't even talked to the
Right,
township officers. Let's not.
Jason have the list of the township officers.
yeah.
Pete Brown is still the chairman.
Okay, is that what you're gonna say, Jason?
Yes.
Okay. That's what we can do.
so.
I feel bad that that Gollins didn't have a chance to come in there and say, oh, we can come in here and quick fix this.
Well, I didn't sound like
That's-
that's odd business to me, but, so if we fix that culvert, or we fix that on our own, are you gonna shut the road off then?
township thing. We're, as far as from the county standpoint, we put the money into that spot. And there's no more, there's still access from themselves, and we were walking away from that. From all my understanding, the last time that we put the money in, that was the last time we put the money in.
Okay.
Well, sorry we couldn't help you, Dave. Thanks for coming.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Jason, he's got a few things to discuss.
Morning.
Good morning.
The first in the package that I submitted to you, we have a cost share for the underwater bridge inspection of the bridge on County Road 19, just west of Minot. Our portion of the bill is $1,700. If we wouldn't have gone through, we had to actually have the option to back out a newest performance on our own. If we would have, the bill would have been over $15,000. So there's one aspect where it really works in our favor to have the cost share program with the state on this, because if we had to do that for multiple bridges because of that center portion that's under the water, it would take out our money really fast. So just have that one signature for that for, payment.
We have this. I'm looking for it as well.
Yeah.
I'm looking for your documents, or is that an email? Yeah, or didn't you,
Oh, I thought that was it.
well, I don't know what's in it, but
Okay.
let me,
You want me to run and see if it's,
yeah, because it's not in
That's
the,
not there.
in that, so,
Well, maybe I forgot to attach it, but I thought I did, but.
I'll go and look, I'll keep it.
well, that thing that you sent here, would that have been in it?
That was, the first few pages of that should have been.
Anybody remember reading that?
The other printout I handed out today didn't make it, because
Right,
that's, most of that is flex funding and things that I just got after I
Yep.
signed the.
Well, I don't have to look at it to save that kind of money. I'll make a
No,
motion.
well, let's just hold on till Angie gets back and,
But I was only for one bridge inspection, but it's.
oh, sorry, Angie, call her Angie. Jason, do I have to sign anything on that?
Yeah, you'll have to sign on that one.
Right where the little red flag there.
Right in the red flag.
There's not a little red flag there for the, another additional thing that I'll bring up with the utility.
You run them off? Just need to double check.
I don't know for sure.
While we're waiting, could we have a date on this?
No, there wasn't, but it does look like you
Mentioned it.
sent it from the scanner, but there's no attachments at all. Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, it's, he
Sorry.
explained it pretty well, so I don't know if we need to.
strange.
Okay, I'll take a motion to pay this.
I'll make a motion, we
Second.
pay the end of the cost share.
Okay.
The second item on.
Hold on a minute.
Okay. Oh, I have to do
Yes,
both.
Ernie made the motion, Amy seconded. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll take the roll. Benny?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
Ernie?
Yes.
Myself, yes, motion carried.
The next item I had for you was just an update on the 3 bridges that we replaced this year that were part of the BRP CDD code of 5,000. With the changes of everything, we're looking at having to, our cost share of it went up because the bid prices changed so drastically. The DOT went and moved some money around internally. So what was going to be a $1.2 million cost share on our end is now looking like it's only gonna be 200,000. So
Kiss them.
we need to thank the DOT for that one. We had kept money from, that was Bill 1505 and the project back so that we could cover this. It was very good. So that's gonna free up some money that we're just gonna have to put it to the front of the list to get spent. It has to be, it doesn't actually necessarily have to be spent, but it has to be earmarked for expenditures. So once we get that all finalized out, which we should have in this next month, we'll be moving forward to see what we can do spending some money.
Is there a deadline on
It has to be earmarked for expenditure underneath the contract to be spent by July
it?
1.
This July? Okay.
Madam Chairman,
Yes,
so are you saying, Jason, that we saved $1 million?
I'm saying the DOT changed some things around for us to fund more of the projects. So the DOT gave us basically $1 million
New bridge.
for bridges back. Yes. So
We've got no help.
Wow.
To pay for our
Happy New Year.
to pay for our inspections.
Yeah. The next thing is for the documents I sent out to you, the top of the handout, the top is Google Earth picture image with flex funds. Those are all the projects that Walsh County submitted for the flex fund portion from the DOT. The DOT has just over $42 million available for the flex fund. The projects that you see in front of you consist of over 18 million. So just the portion that Walsh County is submitting would cover half of what they have available. The chance of us getting projects are not good, but we send them in, and the last time we didn't think we were gonna get a whole lot, we got some bridges, so I got my fingers crossed for some stuff.
do they pick the projects? They don't just give us the money and we can pay for part of stuff?
No,
Okay.
they picked the projects that we could spend the money. So we had to submit each project, each site, and get those in. So let's like the project, and then after that, we'll put in and go from there.
Did you have a chance to list priorities or just?
We did.
Okay.
We put in our priority list, so there are different things. So we put in priorities for the roads, we put in priorities for bridges separate. As what we get submitted for it. Each township got to put in for which ones that they had. Some of the townships didn't get money from the township assistance program, did not reach out to put these in. Kind of sounded like the DOT was just gonna do them, but the last 2 days, we found out that they weren't, and I submitted a bunch, on their behalf.
So looking at this, it's either got a flex fund road project or flex fund bridge replacement.
Yeah.
Okay.
But some have none, some just say like RDOC flex fund, so that road right
That's
there.
all the ones from townships are just roads, they don't have any bridge projects.
That would be the road by the beef under, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, well, and I guess that RDOC one would have a bridge, would have a
Bridge there.
bridge with it.
Yep.
But that's be the only one that would have a bridge. The rest of the township ones are really roads. The Pulaski Flex Fund project would have 2 culvert replacements in there. Otherwise, it's just a mile of roadways. For repairs, renovations and doing those things. The 12 from Fortville to Park River is 8.9 million, that $18 million that we submitted. So it's a big project. So that's where with those, so those had to be submitted, that's everything we submitted before the end of the year. So I don't know how long it's gonna take the DOT to get back to us on these. The township assistance program was about 2 months. I'm assuming that we'll probably be hearing something on this in March. So chance we get some things moving on it this year, but in all likelihood, anything we get from this will most likely be a 2025 project. There's a couple of them we're starting to pull around the just those 9 bridge replacement for culverts. We're moving forward that regardless. We can wait for them, but if there's a chance that they'll fund it, we're gonna try. So we can move our money towards some, so now it's almost a shovel ready, so it'd be really easy to spend the money.
So when they fund it, do they fund it in whole, or is this a cost share type thing, or?
Some of it's full, some of it's cost share. They have grace periods on their choices on their selection committees on what they do.
Okay, so this is just update.
Just an update.
Doing
Yeah.
action on this.
So, the only other thing I have action is attached to that is a utility permit request for Nordic Electric. This is to move a power line that's underneath the bridge that will, when we replace the bridge that washed out from the 2022 flood, we actually have to relocate the power line. So be something we have to do as part of it. With how we have to realign the bridge is too likely that we'll hit that power line. So NODAC would be able to, this is just a permit to make it official for NODAC to give them authority to redo that power line next to the bridge.
Where's this at, Jason? Or
This would be in.
I know it's occurring, but
It's Fertile Township, a mile west or maybe 2 miles west of the E10.
okay,
So it'd be straight north of the Hankey Seed Farm.
okay.
Where? Hankey Seed. It's the one that washed out completely, or the bridge washed into the river in 2022 flood.
Okay,
I would make a motion to approve NODAC permit.
wait a second.
Second.
Any more questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the roll. Danny,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Christie,
Yeah.
Ernie,
Yes.
myself, yes, motion carried.
That's all I have for you, unless you have any questions for me. Last week I turned in my mileage to Christie that you requested for me for tracking my personal mileage for.
For tracking, what was that?
My personal miles for that pickup that you requested me to do starting in March. I've gone back and figured how many personal miles I put on the pickup for stuff in route from here, so. It's about 350 miles. So.
Okay. Ernie,
Bridge truck.
Still in East Grand Forks,
Hearing anything on it or?
still waiting on a component. We're still waiting on a piece of the wiring harness that they thought they had it and we got the wrong one. So we're still waiting for it. Sending it over for over 2 months. They did send us a partial bill, so we got about 17,000 that paid for out of last year's funding. So it won't be a $27,000. Yeah, that was what our estimate was, 27,000 per equipment. So the Lord's Brianna, when we bought the truck, it was only like a $60,000 truck when we bought it, so basically be like new again.
Oh, one part of it.
One part, yeah. So,
Hear anything back from all of us?
I haven't heard anything from all of us.
wonder.
As for a jail update, we do have a shower leak that we're gonna have to bring plumbers in. We have a piece for it and we'll be in there. We had to bring plumbers in to go over some things and take a look at some stuff, so. That'll be a repair that we'll have to take a look at. It's one of the, of course, the shower issues have to be in the ward. So, we have most people.
So could we get you or, Ron to contact Elevatus to see if we can,
I can talk to them.
because I was hoping
I can talk.
that we would hear something by now, but
Holidays.
yeah, everybody's on hold.
Yes, I'll talk to Ron and see and see what's going on.
Yeah,
I'm Chairman.
yes,
You're gonna be sick of me, but 12 feet. So I received some complaints about after that last rain. I know we had talked about how well the gravel had been put on 12 feet and how well they had worked on. They said they were literally sliding sideways down the road because it was so slippery. So
With the last rains we got with the ice, we have that everywhere, and we salted the intersections, different things, we don't salt all of the gravel roads. And it's frozen ice, so it's not the wet ice, wet rains that we got, so sending the blades out there really doesn't do us any good.
just wreck the.
I could drive down my county road, okay? I mean, it's not great, but 12 feet is another issue, so just bringing that up.
Yeah, we've had those issues everywhere, we salted different portions, but we only salt the intersections and like the curve on the south shore of the church. Those are really the only places.
What did you call the other day? You used what, 50 ton of sand or anything salt? Well, and you reordered.
Yeah, we have 125 tons of salt coming this week.
I said all the money we saved on that plowing, we're gonna spend on sand and salt.
Yes, so.
And even, to the defense of anybody, I ain't picking any, but they said even the township roads, when, if they didn't blade them this fall and they got the ruts in there, try driving one of them right now, that is dangerous. Cause that's ice out there and it's in the middle, and then if you try pull up either way and they got a crown on the road, you can wind up turning around and you don't even know it.
There's some of the blade out there that we loosened up all the gravel that we're hoping that we can get to freeze in case we get the snow. So,
Yeah,
I know some people are like, oh, I'm really glad that we got all that rain, and we get the snow. Personally. I
give me
would-
the snow.
Okay, so.
You can have it snow.
You know, the 2 3/4 inch of rain that Fargo got, yes, it would have been 20 inches of snow, but we can move the snow.
Yeah.
We're set up, we got more equipment to move the snow. We have 4 salt tractors.
I talked to a lineman that had wound up from our area, that wound up to Hope in that area, they got 2 inches of ice that thick on everything. Man, and that's not gonna disappear this winter.
Is the river running? Red?
In Fargo area it is, I don't know if it is here yet, I haven't been down there, so.
Well, there are flood reports on the tier.
Oh, yeah, that's what-
They
Minor
just went,
flooding.
yeah, they
Isn't
just
that
went,
crazy?
Yeah, it's gotta be.
they just went down today. They went down
Looking at Oswald. Was it moving at Oswald?
in December.
I don't know, I just. You look at the news reports and with the ice and the different things.
Yeah, we're
Minnesota.
lucky.
unfortunately.
We could have lost power for a week and a half.
Yeah,
Been there, done that.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, so far this winter's been good.
we'll take it.
It's a lot better than last. So.
Any more questions for Jason? Okay, thank you. Here you go.
You want?
It's good. Thanks. I've had too much fun with the Christmas holidays. Just got called back this morning, so.
Oh.
It's good, but I better get back to it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay,
Keep moving it
so
away, so.
we're gonna, I think the only thing left is portfolios. Does anybody else have any business unfinished?
Could
Oh,
be the
Christie?
Auditor update.
Oh,
Auditor. update.
okay,
Go ahead.
yes, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So just an update in my office, like, Brent said, Angie's done. I have a new gal starting tomorrow. Very hopeful. Angie leaving, she was the only one that, paid bills or did payroll. So I have reached out to, Stutzman County as well as, one of the gentlemen that has been helping us with payroll from Tyler. He is going to help me on January 9th. He's, for sure an hour, possibly a little bit more. He's going to, not bill us. And he told me not to worry about payroll. He's gonna help me get through it. I am going to, look into on-site assistance from Tyler. I feel we're at a point where I need, these little bits and pieces from getting, Tyler's support is extremely helpful. But we're maybe to a point where we need to look to see what it would cost to get somebody from Tyler here for a few days. They do have that option, this Rhonda that I talked a lot about, she was gonna send me the information and just to see, you know, depending on the cost. Besides that, that Rhonda helped me figure out how to get a budget report. So I did run the budget report. It is a mess because of all the cleanup that I'm doing. So I'm hoping to get it to you guys by next meeting. I tried over the weekend, and there was no way it would be, I wouldn't even dare present it at this point. But the numbers look good, it's just a matter of the funds are off, you know, a lot. And that is because of the payroll issue. Still working through the payroll, I, just little bits at a time.
Tammy?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, and with being so short, Tammy Meacham has offered to come up and help me with, doing bills. As well as Christine Ferguson has emailed saying that she would work after hours if I needed any data input or anything. So with that being said, I have had a ton of support from all of you guys, and I would have been long gone if it wouldn't have been for you guys as well as all the others. So, I just, very appreciate everybody's willingness to step up and, obviously Tammy, it won't be full, you know what I mean? It'll just be a temporary to get me through it. I did run a couple bills on my own on Friday, and it seems like it's pretty self-explanatory. I did screenshots, started my manual, Ernie, so that for cross-training. So, I think that we're gonna be okay. Payroll's the biggest thing, but
Okay.
Yes, Ernie.
If you, being now we're short and you're not gonna have that salary of the one person, if you're short and you need help from Tyler, I would advise you to get it. If they can get somebody up here and make it easier.
yeah,
I mean, we're saving money in the long run because we're not paying that salary, but God, if it can help you and cut off a week or two on yours, get them up here.
yeah, exactly. We'll see what it, I don't wanna spend tons of money, but it's to a point where it's worth looking
Yeah.
into that.
Just a little shortcut, they could show you something.
Yep.
Yes, and then I forgot, I should have, Rhonda mentioned that gal, that was helping me with the budget. She had mentioned maybe reaching out to see if there's an auditor that has retired from Tyler County. Because I had mentioned that right now it's a tough time for Stutzman County to come here and help me. Jessica said she will, offer me help, but somebody to sit here. So I felt like I had to. It was a shot in the dark. I emailed the auditor group and I got an email back from a retired auditor. I can't even remember which county now, you guys, I forgot to look. She just retired.
What's her name?
I don't even
Okay,
remember.
that's okay.
I don't even remember, I wish I would have remembered to look. She went down south in April, or she went down south until April, but she retired from Tyler County and they are building a house in Grand Forks and she is a CPA.
So she's willing to?
Yeah, she said, is it Benson County maybe? Maybe Benson County, and so she contracted with them for the first year, just as contracted services. She said she would be more than willing to be a resource for me if I still need somebody in April, but I mean, it was worth a shot. I didn't even think so. I was pretty excited, so that, at least to know, cause Chris is great, but with Tyler, she doesn't know that, so to have somebody that understands and knows, it's gonna be huge, so.
Karen?
I think, yep, Christie was hers.
I just wanted to mention too on payroll that we did have April in place.
Yes.
As a backup, April out of Ed's office, so she will be helping with payroll as well. Tanya also offered
Yes,
to help with payroll, she had been sitting in on some of it, so it's gonna be kind of a team effort, right?
correct, absolutely, yes.
So we do have some things.
Yeah, yeah,
For
I get it.
payroll and for bills.
It sounded worse than it
Yeah.
was, yes, I just have not had a lot of experience with the payroll.
Right, and then the bills, hopefully we'll be able to transfer over, train the new employee on, so this
Exactly.
hopefully it'll be short-lived. And Jason had okayed that, you guys, Jason was okay with Tammy coming up and helping
Yeah,
on the bills.
Madam Chair, and when you talk about Tyler coming and doing that on-site assistance, I've always said, just teach me once and all, or sometimes when you get through all of those issues that you're just kind of piecing together, and just to have them here to go through all of it so that you've seen it and it's more comfortable to you, that's gonna make all the difference as you build your department back.
exactly,
So
exactly.
I'm very supportive of that.
Yeah,
Did they sound like they would be able to possibly do that?
yeah, so
Okay.
before COVID, it was always
On site.
on site. So Rhonda said that, if we get a quote on it, to make sure that we're getting somebody experienced, because we're at a point, and she did say, she said, you have to tell them that it wasn't all the county, because she had to fight to help me as much as she did, and, internally within Tyler, they kept on saying, well, they had everybody left, it was their fault. But Rhonda said she was in implementation and there was one time where she did not think that it was a school was ready to go live and she pushed them back 3 months. She said they should have never let you guys go live in the turmoil you guys were in. So they owe it to you guys as well. So, and to get an expert and they have so many liability issues or liability accounts that I figured out, like say, so veteran services, how much payroll really should have gone out of their account. But I'm trying to piece back which liability account I need to credit or debit to credit his line, stuff like that. So that's where I need somebody sitting there and working through them with me and then, go from there. So, yes, it's can only get better. I mean, I'm very optimistic. I am. It'll
It's a new year.
It's a new year,
Yeah.
yes.
I think I can speak for the rest of the commissioners, whatever you need to do, do it, and to take the initiative to reach out to the other auditors for help.
Yeah.
I think we're fully supportive of whatever you need to do to make this work.
I appreciate it.
You stepped into a hornet's nest, and, yeah, you don't know how much we appreciate what you're doing.
I can feel it.
You're fully supportive of, if you need to hire somebody to come in,
Yeah.
you gotta get this straightened out.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
gotta take that workload off of you
Yeah.
and get things running smooth.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll have an open position and I don't feel at this time we need to fill it. I just think we need to let the dust settle. See what my new deputy, what she brings to the table and see where we can go from. So I'll come to you, you know, obviously I'll work with Christie about it, but it's not even on my horizon.
I'd like to thank Christie too for all the work she's done,
Yes.
for the time she's spent up here.
Yes,
It's much appreciated.
yes.
So.
It must be best pals or.
Lot of phone calls. Yeah.
Okay, I have one thing that I talked to Kelly while I was gonna go up and talk to her, so I texted her about the planning and zoning, and she said, I have done some work on the planning and zoning, but at some point we'll need direction from the planning and zoning board. Okay? She said, I don't know anything about gravel pit issue.
So does that mean we should get look here to get a meeting?
Yeah, we've got that contact from the water, or Walsh Water, that gal, can't remember her name from.
Yeah.
I'll get in contact with Alan Side and then we'll set.
Oh, for the gravel pit, okay, yeah.
Have her come down, because she's very familiar with the zoning issues that we
Okay.
need to address.
But as far as the other work for Vesleyville, she's still, now she will need direction from the planning and zoning.
So a meeting would be the next best thing to schedule.
Set up the meeting and
Do you
make
wanna,
sure she can be there.
you wanna handle that with her and then just get hold of Christie and then just shut up a meeting,
Yeah, okay.
whenever you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree, we should be doing something, but we're just sort of waiting on other people and see what
Yep.
they're doing, so.
Yep.
And not to blame anybody, it's been busy and.
Yeah,
Well,
December was tough.
Last meeting, she said, or maybe it was the meeting before, you know, that she said, yes, now I can work on it.
Yeah.
So she did, and we'll go from there. Okay, I think one of the last things we have is portfolios. We'll just talk about. So one of the portfolios that needs to be added, oh, I put it is,
And this should say 2024.
This is 2023.
oh, I got it.
Yeah, I just brought it. so-
Mine just walked away somewhere.
We're not there in 24 yet.
Yeah, 2 days there.
I actually wrote on mine and maybe it's under there, who knows?
You looking for,
I actually wrote on mine. Mine,
Is it in your, underneath your paper? Karen, what's that?
oh, this. Yep. Okay. So the one thing that we do have to add to the portfolios is the library board.
So Danny and I talked and I'd be willing to take the library board and he would take the fair board from me just due to meetings.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
that sounds like a good thing.
Very good, thanks.
Yes. Okay, how do all the other portfolios look? Next year I'll be going off, so I will have all those, you know, that'll all have to be,
Giving us something else
yeah,
or switch.
switched.
And I, you know, from a fairly newbie potential for Karen or anyone else that's going on, I think it would be helpful if you went through your portfolios to kind of determine, you know, is this appropriate for a first year, a second year commissioner or later, you know, because it is one of those where like I'd be willing to take on
Yep.
as you get in longer, but I just,
Yep.
you know, the water hose thing and feeling like it's all coming at you and time commitments with
Yep.
meetings and all of that.
I looked at two of mine in the highway department and the water. You don't wanna take back your first or second year as commission.
The only one on mine,
You do a good job on that.
the only one on mine would be the Human Service Board. And that is monthly. That is the only monthly one I have. The Northeast Human Service Advisory, now I haven't gotten even a notification from them. I'll have to go back and,
Do you even meet or is that? both
yeah,
even-
no, it is. But it's quarterly.
We used to meet monthly when I'm back, way back.
Oh, really? No, it's quarterly now. And that's quite a big board. Domestic violence is only quarterly. That isn't a big learning curve. You know, that has a board with a chairman on it and then JDA, that's pretty easy. So,
Did you say the human service board, is that monthly
yes,
in the evenings or?
that is at 9 AM on Tuesdays between our commission meetings. So Tuesday, the first Tuesday, then the second Tuesday is human service.
So second and fourth, or you said just monthly?
Just monthly, and then the third is another.
Are they all in person or are they Zoom?
They can be Zoom, they like to be in person, of course, and then they change, either Grafton, Cavalier, or Langdon. If I can't make it to Langdon, I Zoom, but it is good to be there in person most of the time, and I know you guys all know that too. But sometimes you just can't be there.
The county safety committee that I have on here, I guess I have not, is that? Or,
Anybody been on there where they had it? I've never been on it, but every ever had a meeting.
I don't know, you know, that would be under the highway department, right? Jason's, isn't it?
Well, isn't Tammy, I don't even know, like I said,
Or Tammy would be,
I just
In
haven't
Jason's
had
office?
anything involved with that this
maybe you
year,
wanna
so-
stop there and ask them, because they do the safety,
yeah.
the highway.
If there's a meeting associated with it?
Well, there
or-
isn't. They don't.
I don't know if you want to,
Okay,
I might be just a.
Housing authority, I've been on there a while, if somebody wants an easy one. I don't go to every meeting, I try to make two out of, if there's one a month, and I try to make probably 2 out of 3 meetings. But if anybody's interested, if not, I'll keep it.
One right now, mine is, as far as meetings, I mean, I meet with the employees, of course, because I have second floor and I have rent. But, department head meetings are quarterly, career builders board meetings, those are monthly. I don't have a lot in the evening, so if somebody needs to give up something in the evening, I could look at that.
I think Amy and I are the only ones that have the JDA in there.
that's the only one.
Yeah.
And you have to stay on the JDA because you have a term, right?
Yeah,
It's like I
somebody
have-
will, yeah, somebody will need that next year for me, but,
Yep.
so.
Tell you one board that I'm enjoying, and it's only been my first year, is that health board.
Oh, I like that one too, you took it from me. No, for a year.
You took second floor, but that one with him.
I'm not sure that was the very one.
Hey, yes, it was.
Board for second floor.
We didn't have all the trouble there when so it was one that I was on way too long too.
I
And I
like
said, yeah, I
working with
really,
the employees.
that health board one, I've learned a lot being on there with that. You know, so.
No.
Well, is everything seem,
Devil's Lake Basin sort of goes with the water board, and I look at, you're an alternate. And I just keep track, LB goes to them quite a bit, and when it's nicer, I'll start going back to some of those meetings. Cause that's sort of interesting how it affects our county.
Well, maybe since Karen, this is your last year, maybe you wanna keep yours and then,
yeah,
Next year, then
let's
we
keep them
switch.
and then, yeah.
Next year we can do a,
and then next year when we have new members, cause we might have 3 new members, possibly next year, I mean, I don't know yet, but.
Right, that's the potential, so.
Yeah.
So everything.
spin the wheels again.
I'd like to keep the second floor for another year. I just feel like we've got a
Well,
lot going on.
that
now
is
I'm
something
familiar
that
with.
shouldn't, I don't
No.
feel like,
No,
I mean, I could do it if, if I was around, but you do such a good job of it.
Right, they might beg to differ.
I mean, and there's no law, there's no set
Yeah.
anything that, I mean, there's,
And I'm
like
fine
I
with,
said before, there's a lot of boards that the chairman stays on forever, which is, I don't agree with that, but
and I'm fine with emergency management as well, that
good.
dealing with rent, so if everybody's okay with that, I'm okay keeping that.
one thing I might add is, the chairman was supposed to attend the department heads meetings.
Oh, okay, Yep,
Remember we discussed that? here?
yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Christie, you just let me know when you have one and,
okay, and then, yeah. I will let them know, or let you know.
okay.
So does everybody got what changes was done?
Yeah, I think that was the
Just
only
the
one.
library board and
Yep.
county fair. Everything else stays the same?
What about extension office? Do you keep the extension office or does that go with the county fair?
They should go together, really.
That's
shouldn't
what
they?
I'm thinking, they should be together, but.
That's fine. I mean, it's a-
I have a, yeah,
I don't know that they have to, do they?
No, they don't have to.
cause I have an and I mean, Katie and I have had a good work. I guess I don't wanna back off like
Yeah,
too many here and then feel like I'm
Yeah.
giving too much.
No, that's
I'm good with keeping the extension. We have
You're
an
okay with it?
eval and I think Katie will like the comfort of both of us, to be honest, and reaching out if she needs, so.
mhm.
I will make a motion, we approve the portfolio changes. Sounds like we got them down.
I'll second it.
Okay. Roll call. Christie.
Yeah.
Ernie.
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
myself, yes, motion carried. Any other business?
I was gonna mention something.
You'll present us the new one then?
Yes, yes, yes.
Do you want to change a meeting or something?
I don't know the exact time yet. I might have to miss part of the meeting in February, Julie's gonna have a, whatever.
No problem.
And it's only in Park River, but I'll either take her there in the morning and come back, or else I'll just miss that meeting or change it if you guys want, but I don't remember the date, they've been changing it, so.
Well, Zoom on your phone.
It's on the calendar.
I'm kidding.
I got most of my stuff, but with her stuff, I don't have enough spots.
Yeah, yeah,
So there'll be a February meeting, I might have to miss or change.
okay. Well, we can't be changing because I'm gonna be gone for a week in February.
Well-
And I made it in between, just,
No, I just meant like in the afternoon, instead of the morning or something.
Oh,
Depends on
okay.
her procedure,
no problem.
one day, but.
Okay, anything else before the commission? Meeting adjourned.